Moneycontrol interview with Bhavish Aggarwal, the founder and CEO of Ola, who has very ambitious plans for Ola Electric. Just a few weeks ago, we took you inside his plans at the Ola factory, and now he's really getting ready for the next leg of that ambition with a country-wide charging network. Bhavish, thank you very much for joining us on Moneycontrol. The moment you say EV, the second question that people ask is, where is the infrastructure? How are we going to charge? And that's the problem you're trying to solve here. So take us through your plans. What will this network entail? Will people charge outside? Will people charge at home? How are you going to enable this? Because you want to produce millions of EVs, but how are you going to enable the charging infrastructure for that?
Chandra, wonderful to be on your show again. It's good to share updates with what we're doing with you and your viewers. So, like we had a chat about a month ago, and when we announced and launched our FutureFactory, where we're going to build up to 10 million units a year at full capacity in due course. The biggest barrier to consumer adoption and the biggest question consumers have in mind is, if I buy an EV, where will I charge it? And people call that range anxiety, etc. So we've, as part of our business model, we've decided to build that infrastructure. And today we are announcing the setup of the Ola Hypercharger network. So the Hypercharger network will enable consumers to fast charge their Ola scooters and other two-wheelers in due course across any location. So these hyperchargers will be always a 5 to 10 minute away from you as a consumer. We will be building hypercharger towers in key high streets and key high dense areas. We'll be building hypercharger stations in partnership with fuel companies, etc. And we'll also be putting up destination chargers in destinations like office complexes, residential complexes, malls, hospitals, etc. And all in all, in 5 years, we will be setting up 100,000 points for these hypercharger networks. And in total, the investment would be about $2 billion, which we and our partnerships will do together. Right? And in the first year, as we launch our product in the coming months, we will already have this network set up at the right scale in the key cities where we are going to be launching.
Right. That's a very ambitious number, Bhavish, and it kind of ties you with everything that you have said so far. But in terms of execution, what can we expect in the first year? How many of these charging stations, which cities have you identified? Public spots, residential complexes, office complexes? Take us through that.
So we are absolutely, we have identified all the key launch stations for us, and we are in the process of building them out and rolling them out. Like I said, in year one, we will be setting up more than 5,000 of these stations and these charging points for the course of this year across about 100 cities in India. And then in year two, we scale that up significantly as our vehicle sales also ramp up.
Right, you mentioned $2 billion of investment in total. Will this be Ola Electric plus its partners? Who will bring in how much? Who are these partners going to be? If you can give us some perspective on that.
Chandra, we are going to partner with all the entire ecosystem which is relevant for setting up the charging infrastructure, right from the power and energy companies to real estate companies like builders, office complexes, malls, etc. Also with the oil marketing and the fuel companies. Right? So we are setting up a broad ecosystem to partner with all of these to help bring this infrastructure at scale, installed in India.
Right. So are you already in talks with OMCs such as HPCL or BPCL? Have you already inked these agreements wherein there can be an Ola charging station along with their fuel pumps? How is it going to work?
Yeah, so we've actually had explorations with all the key partners, and we will be sharing more details in due course with you all. But like I said, when we launch our product in the coming months, the charging network will already be set up for the launch across the key cities.
Right, right. Bhavish, I'm sure considering Ola's also operating in international markets, you would have studied what works outside, what will work in India, what will you have to do differently for India in terms of the charging network. So can you take us through that? Like in India, what will work? Will people charging at home work? Will people charging at a destination work? How have you really come up with the plan?
Chandra, it's a great question. India is a unique place and the Indian context is unique, and we have to build the right business model and the right technology for the India market. Now, if you look at the world, there is no pure play two-wheeler charging network today in the world. So we are actually, what we're announcing today, our hypercharger network is going to be the world's largest two-wheeler charging network. For India, we expect consumers to do about half their charging at their home. For those of our consumers who have access to a parking spot they can, with our home charger doesn't need any special installation. You can just plug it into any plug socket, wall socket, and it'll charge. But sometimes consumers don't have access to that kind of home infrastructure, right? So what they will be able to charge on our hypercharger towers or our hypercharger stations or our destination network. Many consumers, we believe, will go to their office and charge in the destination network there. Or if they go to a mall in a 1-hour shopping window, they will charge their vehicle there. Right? Our hypercharger network will allow consumers to charge about 50% of their vehicle in just 18 minutes. So it's a super fast charging network, and that means about 75 kilometers of range on our product on the first year launching. So it's going to be a high-powered, fast charging network, which can really take away the range anxiety and make it into a range comfort for the consumer.
So will it then be, double of that at 100% charge? When you say 75 kilometer at 50, what can we learn about the mileage of these bikes, that they are EVs that Ola is going to launch?
We're not sharing the range today, but you did the good math, Chandra. So we will be launching a few variants. So some will be at that range, some will be different. So you'll hear more in the coming weeks on that.
Right. And the last time we met, Bhavish, you spoke about this ambitious plan of 10 million units total capacity, of which 2 million will, the lines will be ready by June. Now, in light of second wave, in terms of the supply chain taking a hit, there are also more number of cases this time in, the younger working age population. How has this forced you to go back to the drawing board in terms of the milestones that you've set? Take us through that.
Chandra, it's a tough time for the entire country, and we all are having our own challenges at a personal and at a professional and a work level. So we also have our challenges in getting it ready, but we are doing our best to get it ready in the timeline we mentioned. So as of now, we are targeting same timelines that we mentioned for our factory to be ready in June, and then the product starts selling in July. But roughly, looking at the next few weeks will be critical. We'll see as it goes, but as of now, we are on track.
Final couple of questions. The billion-dollar question that everybody wants to know: when is the first scooter rolling out, and what's the price point likely to be?
So prices we will share later, Chandra, but we've always said the timeline is summer this year. So June, we aim to get our manufacturing facility up and ready, and July is when we look to start selling the scooters.
And have you identified showrooms where this will be displayed? Because last time you told me you're planning to come up with a D2C kind of approach where you will be able to order on the app. So what's the split between will it be like a physical plus digital kind of strategy when it comes to sales?
Yeah, so we are going to do a direct to consumer, but we will partner with key partners in that. We have not yet shared that details, and in due course we will share more with you and your viewers. We are going to be a digital first company. We are, our heritage and our pedigree is a software and digital pedigree. So we are going to really push the digital envelope significantly in our go-to-market. But we're building a kind of a hybrid approach across digital and physical. Yeah.
Right. Bhavish, there are also reports that SoftBank is leading a fresh investment into Ola Electric. Can we expect that to close soon? Will that perhaps give you a shot in the arm when it comes to these ambitions?
Chandra, we are very well funded. We have a very strong balance sheet in Ola Electric. We are investing strongly, and we have enough capital to see us through our current business plans. That said, SoftBank is a very strong key partner. They've been a partner for 7 years now with us in both our companies. And Masa-san is actually a personal inspiration and a mentor for me. And I really value. We will continue to deepen our partnerships in multiple domains with SoftBank.
Right. Final question, Bhavish. I think Ola announced before that they will be covering vaccination costs for all their employees, people on their platform. Now that the government has announced vaccination for all above 18, they've opened up, expanded it to the private sector. How are you going to go about it? Are you tying up with hospitals? Are you in talks with vaccine suppliers? Because the private sector will play a huge role in reducing the burden when it comes to accelerating inoculation at scale. So, what are your own plans for this?
Yeah. So, Chandra, we have announced that we'll make vaccination free and also help in access of vaccination for all our employees across the world. And for our platform partners, we are also exploring, now that the government has opened up, how can we actually ease access for them by partnering with different government agencies and easing the access for the vaccine. So we will definitely be focusing on that. I think one of the key things is for us to fight this pandemic, like the Prime Minister himself said, the vaccination is going to be the key strategy. So if the whole ecosystem and industry comes together, I think we can accelerate that journey.
Sure. On that note, Bhavish, thank you very much for talking to us, and here's wishing you the best, and hopefully we'll be talking to you when you unveil the price and the variants and the launch when that happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chandra. Cheers.
Thanks.